Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
You there?
yes. Good day. How are you?
Good day. Fine, fine. What about
Yes.
you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for
joining.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
very
for
much.
joining. We are waiting for our tutor, Thomas, that you all know very well, to join us. And he will be able to answer to any question you may have for him. So he will join us in 3 or 4 minutes as the meeting starts at 4:30.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Hello, Thomas. This is Leonard.
Leonard, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine, fine. How are you?
We have some high-level people here.
To be the first to ask questions to our tutor, actually.
Maybe I will go first.
Sure.
Yes. Not when Victor and I, because we're working together, when we did the assignment for week 2, I think what we did was we missed out on the fact that we needed to pull out the same. We needed to pull out the same indicator that we had given in assignment 1. So the capacity building program or capacity development focuses on the farmers and government professionals. And most of the indicators we had actually focus on government professionals. And I think too, we unfortunately we put new indicators now referring to the farmer. So that I think that's where we got it all wrong. But I'm working on it again as your
B, you should be writing down in your assignment that you're working with Richard, because actually I only saw it when I've read the Richard assignment that you're working together. And sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because when I've read your assignment, there's things I didn't understand, and then I saw that you've updated your assignment week 1, and that's fine. I think it's very good, and it's a fine assignment. The assignments are really together. I mean, week 1 you're developing the questions. Week 2 you're answering the questions, and week 3 you're developing tools to feed the indicators. So everything is linked. All of this is in the same line, in the same direction. And also something perhaps in the next course we will tell that to the participants more clearly. Of course, in most cases, you already have your own indicators because you're working on your project, and of course you've developed indicators because you've been asked to do it. But this course is also an occasion to other indicators, which are answering the questions you have. And it's not easy, to change position because you already have the indicators. So you would tend to put the indicators you have, but you can also say, hey, this is my question. So this is the information I would need. Perhaps I'm not able to feed the indicator right now, but this is what I would need.
Okay, thanks. But in this case, the indicators, because Victor and I joined this project a few months ago, and it's a project which unfortunately before started, there's been no M&E
Yes, I remember.
framework. Yes, and I pointed that out to you. And so we are trying to use this one out and to start a new project appropriately so that we have an M&E, we have the M&E framework that we're going to be working with.
Yes. So the way is really, but I think you got it from your updated week 1 assignment. It's really to get back to the questions. Start the questions. What do we want to know? And then we will find the right indicators to answer. And actually, it's quite natural when you do it this way. What is a bit strange, I know that from last year, is we already have the indicators, so we're doing some kind of retro engineering, developing the questions we would have asked to have these indicators. So this is a bit harder, but when you are doing it from the start, it's quite easy.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
The question typed from Ram here on the chat. Visible.
I thought it is better just everybody can read, and maybe Thomas can explain a little bit more on do no harm principle for any practices. Meantime, if there is some more questions, I want to hear a little more on this issue from Thomas.
Yeah, it's the principles from the Red Cross, International Federation of Red Cross. Here on this part of the course, I've been very lazy. I just took the principles and wrote it down because I think they are very good. It's true in all projects, but it's perhaps even truer for the Red Cross because they often come in emergency situations. We always say, that monitoring and evaluation should not be an issue for the project implementation, but it should not be an issue either for the people who are involved, because there can be issues like political issues in countries which are not democracies, for instance. Can be social issues. They can be and business issues that could arise from the evaluation. In your case, Ram, while you are developing, trying to help craftsmen developing new products, new services on the market. It's clear that in the report you can't say Mr. X, this is the strategy of Mr. X, and this is what he's gonna do, because perhaps some competitor would find the information and it could actually harm its business. So we have to respect anonymity. You have to respect people, and sometimes it happens that some information would be really useful to know, and that if you say this is that people who told me that, it would get a lot of strength. If it can be harmful, the best is not to use it or say some people told me that, etc. One challenge of that also is that we're doing M&E on the project, but probably it won't be the only project, and other people will come later, and there will be other projects, and there will be other evaluations. If people are afraid or wary of the evaluation teams, because some evaluation teams harm them, it would be very hard for the following people to regain their trust. You have also to plan for the future and be sure that in the end nobody has anything to reproach to the evaluation team on that aspect.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. There is a question from Leonard. Leonard, not to everyone, but privately, I would suggest if you want
okay.
everyone else to see it, if you see actually straight above your chat window, there is send to, and you
Okay.
select everyone in order for all the others to see your question. So let me just
I've
retake
done
your
it.
question and post it to everyone.
No, I've put already to everyone.
Okay, that's it.
There is a database of generic indicators for the various sectors, such as agriculture, health. That's a good question. I know that there is something a bit different. I don't know for that. I don't know if there is a database of generic indicators. That would be very interesting. But I know there is something which is a bit similar. And is related to something that is called realistic evaluation. I don't know if you are familiar with that. Realistic evaluation is a branch of evaluation. The two guys behind this are called Boso and Stanley, like this. And what they do is that they develop some generic result chains. So very simple result chains, but that you will find in many situations. And for these result chains, they have indicators. So let's take a very simple example. You would have a result chain about capacity building. I have training activities. People learn stuff. They are convinced, and then they use it. And they would find indicators for each of them. So this I can try to find a document and put it on the forum. Otherwise, you have FAO, which has some generic indicators, but I think we should ask Amélie about that. We'll, I guess,
yes.
Send the question to Amélie.
Yes.
Okay.
Forward your question to Amélie. She's not in the office right now, but as she will be back, I'm sure she will be able to answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I come in again? This is B. I also have a general concern. As I listen to most of the audio, the videos posted, the sound it's really low. I've been struggling to most of them, and I don't know if it's just me or
the weekly videos.
Yes, please. The weekly videos, the sound is very low, and I'm not sure if it's just myself or if
because I checked and tested the videos and they work fine actually. Also the audio part. So maybe there are some settings on your computer that should be.
Okay, maybe I'll get our IT person to come and check because the
sound
quality is very low. I've been struggling.
It is true. I think especially for the first webinar, the recording was not so nice. Second, it is quite fine. I hear again my second webinar, but first audio recording was not so nice. I agree.
Okay.
Okay, so let us check again and we will be back because when I heard Thomas' video, I could hear it quite clearly. So let us and let you know because if we can do something on that, we will.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, may I come in again? I am Ram. Thomas, there are some these questions which we ask. You ask every week, and we have to reply for that. Like forum questions. I see response to some specific people you reply, but some you don't reply. What does it mean? They are okay if you don't respond to somebody's answer?
Yes, you're right. for citizen testimonies, when I see that there is something a bit wrong, I try to answer quite quickly, so that people don't think it's true. But I've seen yours, for instance, and they're fine. So I did not
Oh,
answer.
that is what just I want to confirm. If there is no response, it means it is okay.
Yes. If
Okay,
you really
thank
want
you.
an answer from me, you can ask a specific question. I read all the posts on the forum, so if you have a specific concern or something like that, you can just ask your question. I will answer. But when it is only the forum questions, I just check, and if it's not wrong, it's fine. I'm not answering.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to?
If there are no questions, I can just give you a first word of the general feedback of week 2, because it's not yet posted, but it will be posted by the end of the day, and perhaps we can discuss on the points that I have. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So perhaps among the main points, overall, all of you have been very good at defining the indicators. I mean, filling the grid with the definition. There are only a few exceptions, but I see that it is something you do well. You know how to make indicators. So I will not discuss that too long. Three important things I will say here. The first one is something that is directly related to the week 1 assignments, and is related to what is an activity, what is an output, what is an outcome. It's very important that when you answer questions that are at output or outcome level, you can you choose where do you answer. But for instance, if my question is did people learn new things, you should really not having indicators such as number of people trained. Being trained is an activity. It is what you do. Having learned something, the results of it. And when we are in results-based management, just like here, we're always taking the point of view of the results. So sometimes you could say, and I think the projectors sometimes they will say, yes, but it's not my fault. I mean, everybody has been trained. I don't know. Of course, some of them do not learn, but it's not my fault. Well, that's not the point. The point is that what the information you have to bring, information about the learning, and not information about being in the training. There is exception. It's when you have like PhD programs or that kind of thing, because there's a graduation. So obviously, if you graduate from the PhD, it's that you learn something in the PhD. But for all the smaller trainings, it is very important that you have this in mind, and that you develop, that you disseminate that point of view among the project holders, among your partners. It is one of your roles, really, to always talk to people from the point of view of results. And I'm talking especially for you, B, because you are in the beginning of a new program. It is very important that you say to the project holders that they must integrate tools to know about the results from the design phase. If you have training sessions, then you should have evaluation questionnaires or evaluation workshops at the end of the training. It is mandatory. Really, you should be really clear at the design phase. If we do that now, if we design the activities in a way that will support results orientation, it will be so much easier than to that afterwards. And the M&E officer has to be very influential at this step, and it's not easy because the project manager, the project owner, they are talking about all the details, and and they think about how it's going to work, and there are so many things to think about. And you must come back again and say, I want to have means to verify the results of the actions, which is into the actions. It's very, very, very important. And I know how hard it is. It is. I am helping a project right now, and I have to come back every day, almost every day, and tell them we have to integrate. This is the first point I wanted to make. Really think result orientation, and your indicators, they should reflect that. Your indicators should always be about your results and not about the activities. If you want to check on the results. That was one point. Second point, and the third point is related to is about impact indicators and change indicators or context indicators. If you have a program which is about food security, there are several of you which program are supporting food security. You can have an indicators which would be, for instance, food security of households, of rural households in the area covered by the program. But this is fine, and you have your definitions, and I see that FAO has very straight definition of what is food security. But when you do that, you're measuring the change. What happened? And you're able to say just with that indicator, if it is because or thanks to your program that the quality of these households improved. And so you would have perhaps you would need an evaluation in most cases to actually tell about your impact, how to make the difference. The indicator in most cases it will tell you about the change, what happened, and the second question, how did I contribute to what happened? It's an evaluation to tell you that. Which means that your indicators should not include in its definition, should not say food security situation as a result of FAO or result of my program. This, you should really not write it because it's not true. It is a risk that you're making an assumption that every change that you see is to your activity, and this should never be written like that. So this is very, very, very important. Of course, if the change are going in the right direction, it's fine. You can say, look, the situation improved, and this is thanks to my program. But what happened if the situation worsened? Will you say, yes, thanks to my program that the situation worsened? Of course not. And you'll come saying, yes, but there are external factors, etc. But you will reduce your credibility. You see, what's important is you say, hey, my monitoring system is here to know what happens. And from time to time, we're going further, one step further, and we're trying to see how we contribute to that. So a clear distinction between the two, it will always be good for you because you will be able to explain to people what you do and how the monitoring and evaluation system can contribute to decisions. And contribute by saying how situation has changed and can adapt the program to the new situation, but then also contribute by saying how the program make a difference. Should I continue because it's working, or should I change some stuff to make it work, or should I revise completely because it's not working? Different uses of your indicators. The third point, it's a comment I made on the previous one, on the previous week, but it's true here also, is about the clarity of your indicators. you always write your indicators to like if it were for your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, I don't know, but someone who is not an M&E officer and not involved in the project and should be able to understand. Really, really, if you must remember only one thing on your indicators, because you're already good at making indicators, you need to work on the phrasing. Those very simple, plain words that everybody will understand. Because otherwise, you will have people who think they understand. They will not never discuss with you about what is, for instance, capacity building. But they say, yes, we want to make capacity building. They don't know if it's capacity building. It's about having government officials learning things about. Is it about technical stuff or about strategical stuff, or is it about networking, or is it about giving them means to make studies and reports? I mean, capacity building is so many things. This is the kind of portmanteau words. Everything is capacity building, and indeed we don't know what we're talking about. And it's not as long as it's you, the M&E officer, who is doing it. But what happens when your successor is coming? Or what happens when someone else takes the lead of the project and they want to know about the indicators? They will not understand what they see. And indicators, just like the rest of the M&E plan, it's a communication tool. Really, it is something people should be able to see. They say, "Oh, yes, I see. I understand what you want to achieve, and perhaps I can contribute to that." If you want to do that, you have to use the plain words possible. And I know also how difficult it can be at FAO and in international organizations because there is a vocabulary that everybody is using, etc. But it's one of your job as an M&E officer to say, yes, but what does it mean? And what does it mean exactly? Can you rephrase? And you do that all the time. You should do that all the time. Make them rephrase. Go to very, very simple formulation. They are the best. There are main stuff about this week. Do you on that? Leonard, you provided a lot of indicators. Perhaps you want to say a word or so about what you did?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I had your feedback, especially when I realized that I did not so much cater for the external factors that might affect the productivity as one of the indicators. So initially I had a question about when you said that the baseline will not change, but the target might change. But what always comes to my mind is how donors are to such changes, especially if you are lowering the target compared to the show that you had said. Yeah.
Setting a target, I think it's the hardest part in the indicator, because you can have generic indicator, but you don't have generic targets actually.
Yeah.
Your targets, they should always be yours. What I say, and I know that your donors may not agree, but this is between us on the event world. What I say is that you're supposed to develop a target, to identify a target at baseline in the first year of the program. You should be ready to update it and to change it. And this is why I'm saying that in the comments of the indicator grid, you should be able to say why you chose that target, what issues you may have. As a first way, being able to say, I think B, you wrote it to say, well, we've made, we chosen that target. We think it's a realistic target, but there may be an issue because we've identified a few factors that may prevent us from reaching that target. After the first year of implementation, they encourage you to revise the target. It can be upwards or downwards. It can be in both senses. But we've all seen, the situation where the target is too low at the beginning because we were not sure and we didn't know what we could have. And after the first of implementation, okay, the target is already beaten. So what should we do? Should we keep the same target? No, it's not. It's not useful. We should change the target. So it goes on both senses. After the first year of implementation, I think it's still fair to change the target.
Okay, thank you.
Just another question again, Thomas. If you to change the target, is it likely to affect the budget and knowing how donors affect the budget? How do you approach that?
Yeah, this is typically the issue we have on this. I think with your donors, there should be a clear distinction between what you do, put the activities, and what results you expect. And of course, they are funding you on more and more on the results you have. But there is a distinction between the two. For instance, if you say to train 200 people on cost agriculture, that number it should change. You will say that you expect to that number, and if you're funded on that number, I would say that you will try not to change it. If you change it, it's really because you don't have any other solution. But your result target will be that 80% of the people you've trained are now convinced that conservation agriculture is the right solution, and 50% of the people after 2 years they actually use the techniques they've learned. And these targets they can change. People at the beginning, which is really directly related to the activity, but the results you can have, they can change. You need a bit of experience to have a right target. So either it's the same program you're doing every year and since 20 years, and so you know exactly what will be the right target, or you need some time of implementation, not long, to actually see what you can really expect from your program.
Okay. Thank you. And just one last question. If I would give, I want to give for example, if you plan on your target for say to train 500 people, you realize that with the same budget, your target you could still go to 750. Would you be considered as someone who didn't plan properly, or is it?
Sorry, can you say that again? Because I have a noise in the headphones, and I didn't hear you well.
Okay, saying that if your target was say train 500 people,
yes,
and with the same budget, without and with very good results, you're able to you're able to train very well 750. Is it bad? Would you have been considered as not having planned properly or overbudgeted, something like that? Is it? And you report on it. Is it?
Nobody will ever complain if you train more people than expected. You should see it that way. Perhaps people will tell you that you didn't plan well at the beginning, but if you train more people and that these people effectively learn and that they effectively use what they've learned, I mean everybody will be happy. The other way around, you will have to justify.
Okay.
But instead of increasing the number of beneficiaries, like what she was telling, from 500 to 750, what there should be more effort to sustain the results from the, or you can say get maximum output to the same number, because no project will, you can say 100% beneficiary will succeed. So what we try to put more effort so that all the 500 succeed in what we want to do with them, instead of just training some more and not giving more attention towards the sustainability of the results.
Yes, it's really, depending on your program. If you have, for instance, an awareness raising activity, the objective usually in awareness raising is touching as much people as possible. So if you know you can do more, the right way to do in most cases would be to touch more people. But if you want to have, in-depth training, and you are asking for really a big change of behavior, etc., it would be better to focus your resources on the small number of people, and perhaps to put more resources on each of them if you can. It really, this is really, depending on the situation, there is no general rule on that.
It can be refresher training or maybe some additional support in different way and all those kind of things.
You see, with your the project manager or program manager, one very good way to show that the M&E system is useful and is not only a burden and filling a report every year, etc. Is also to show that, is to say you have to discuss things with the donor. I have the data, and I can prove that we took the best decisions based on the information we had. And we did not take the best decision. I can prove that we learned the lesson and that we will improve in the future. This is a very good way. You don't want to have problems with the donor, but I know of situations where the project manager was not interested at all in M&E until the time when the donor said this is not working, and you didn't do what was expected, and the M officer was here to say, yes, but I can prove that we have everything to prove that we did the best we could in the situation, and it saved the project, actually. So that the project manager was really happy with the M&E.
From Ali.
Any other question I can answer?
Not from my side. Not from my...
There is a question from Ali on the chat box.
Yes, there is a question here.
Yes, hello, Ali.
Hello.
All right.
Fine, thank you.
Ali. So that conducting training for partners on M&E within the program, and during the initial assessment, it was found that those people, they are far away from the M&E fundamentals. And the budget should be between 3 and 5%. How can we deal with this? Yes, the budget question is always an issue. This is a common range on many programs. It can be sometimes a lot more, and sometimes it's a lot less. So we have to adapt to the situation. But what I would say is that there are two very different ways to calculate the M&E share of the budget. Either you're calculating the costs of the M&E officer, or calculating all the time spent on M&E missions by all members of the staff. And it's completely different. And in my view, the M&E should be part of the common culture of everyone on the staff. They don't have to be M&E specialists, of course, but it should be part of their training, as well as being able to manage a project and know about agriculture. This should be part of their knowledge, basic knowledge. And in that view, I think that in a project where no one in the team knows about M&E, there should be a budget for M&E training. Even if it's training done by the M&E officer, I mean, it doesn't have to be some big stuff, etc. There's a lot of resources available, including this course, that can be used just to do the common basics to everyone. Because if you don't have the common basics, it will be very hard to work together.
Excuse me?
Yes.
You mentioned that if they need this fundamental or basics, and money has to train them as on-job training, for example. This will be as a overload of the program of the activity program.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can have one training once in the first year of implementation. It can be one day. It can be a seminar. It can be a discussion, etc. But anyway, everybody in the team is supposed to contribute to M&E. It's better if they know why they are contributing. If they are just contributing a few figures every day or every year or something like that, it's always better if they know to what they are contributing.
Okay, thank you.
Ali, I'm giving the theoretical answer. I know that on field it's rather more difficult than what I say, but this is what I think they should do. What you can do so is ask your question on the forum, and perhaps some of your colleagues, they have a similar situation and they've reacted to that in another way. Questions, people?
No.
Are there any other questions?
Excuse me, I am asking.
Sure. Ed.
I know that monitoring of a program is totally different than a project.
Yes.
Yes. So, the following of indicators of such project should be based on the indicators. Am I right?
Many of your you will have two types of indicators. You will have indicators that are come from the field, coming from the project level, that will get to the program level, and you will have program level indicators that will develop only at that level. If you have programs like a CPF, for instance, a programming framework, what CPF, it is mainly an aggregation of a lot of projects in the country. So a large part of the work is actually identifying the information that is collected at project level, and that you could use either directly or by aggregation at program level. And then you would have indicators that you will develop at program level that are related to your expected outcomes and impacts. And usually for them, you will have to have special tools such as surveys or studies.
Okay. So there will be no contradiction between at program level and project level.
In my view, there should not be, because there are contradictions when you do all the indicators at program level and then you go see at the project level.
Project level.
It's too late. I mean, so
okay. No.
Okay, you have really to start with the indicators that are already existing, and then try to answer your M&E questions with that, and then develop specific indicators.
So we have to consider now the third party, which is the donor.
Sorry again?
The third party, implementing program, And a project, it says that we have to harmonize between indicators at
Yes.
the program level and project level.
Yes. Yeah, actually,
So suppose that
let's go.
suppose that some indicators needed by donors and it is totally contradict the program at indicator at program level.
Yes.
From project at project level, this is indicators accepted by the donor.
Okay.
Suppose that there are some indicators at project level totally contradict the at program level, or cannot lead to expected result.
Yeah. Then you have two situations. Two solutions. Sorry. First, you don't have to use all the indicators at project level. You will use only those that are interesting to you.
Okay.
And the second one is to make specific data collection at program level to feed your own indicators, but it will be a lot cost effective than using information coming at project level. Let's say, let's give a very simple example. You want to know, you have a question, how did the program improve the capacity of the development of the government to develop relevant plans for agriculture and food security in the country. So at activity level, you want to know the number of people who have been trained. It's quite easy. You just take the information coming from every project. You just be ready to tell them that you will ask this information every year, so they should be ready to hand it over. And then you want to have an indicator. It is the share of the people trained who say that they have been convinced by what they learned, and they will use it. Here you have two potential situations. Either you have a common definition and you can just or a close definition of what it is to use the new knowledge, what they learned, and you can just aggregate the data. Or you don't have that, and you will have to make your own survey of all the people who have been trained. So it costs a lot more, but it's a lot more adequate. You always have this point. If you want really your indicator, the right information, you can always collect that information, but it costs more. Also, that the first program, and it's based with the CPF, it's also a moment for learning. I mean, everybody is going to learn how to make it work. So it's good also to be able to say in your report, we could not aggregate the data from project level because we had different formats for collecting this and this information. Or this information is available, but it was only available in a paper format, and it was too much work to collect it and to fit the indicator. And you can make recommendations in the program on here. It will be useful that all information about this is collected in the same way, and progressively you can improve the situation. And when you will come to your next program in a few years' time, you will be ready. You will be able to say, hey, we have the same indicators, the same generic indicator at all levels. Usually, I would say that it's hard to be the best from year one. We can take some time also to progressively improve and share together and see what is the best solution, etc. There is no one-size-fits-all solution that everybody could use, metal solution that we could use. That doesn't exist. So we're always improving, and it's important that you tell your donors and your partners that perhaps you're not perfect, you're willing to improve, and so every year we can improve.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Thomas. So, is there any further question?
This is not a question from Ram, but just a clarification from Thomas. Regarding my assignment, thank you again for your evaluation and the grading, and you suggested me to post on forum.
Yes.
After revising one question, I already revised that one and sent to you. Do you think it is okay? And then I can go ahead posting it for your feedback.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. I will do it tomorrow.
This is a very good work, and I think it can be useful for your colleagues.
Thank you very much. I already shared with my colleagues so far whatever it has been going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
Welcome again.
Else?
Okay. If there are no further questions, I guess we can close this on the webinar, and of course I will post the 2 webinars on the platform, as I did for the webinars we did the first week of the course. And everyone.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our
Bye.
tutor who answered all our questions. And please,
Thank
if you have any further questions, please remember that the forum is always the right place to post them, okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
goodbye.
Bye.